everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Judy and you are watching Running So and So, and it is lovely to have you back. And welcome to anybody who's newly subscribed this week. Welcome aboard, it's lovely to have you. And if you have commented on my last vlog or any of my recent vlogs over the past week, I've made a real effort. And at the time of recording, there were none to reply to. If anybody's tipped one in now, then I'll go back and reply to it. I'm hopefully going back to work on Monday. All being well, I can't see any reason why I shouldn't, but let's just not try and hedge any bets just before we get there. So today, what am I going to talk to you about? Well, let's start with a little bit from Friday Sews, and I absolutely loved Jen's comment for this week. So Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room set up the hashtag Friday Sews a little while ago. I can't get a Friday Sews up, but who cares? It's in that weekend time span. Let's get it up tomorrow. So today it's the unusual places that you have taken your sewing machine. Now I'm talking about my little Elna here. And my little Elna's been backstage on a lot of occasions for school productions and school dance shows and the like. So I've done a lot of that. I suppose the most unusual thing I ever did was to put her in a suitcase and watch her getting loaded on board a Ryanair flight in Dublin. But I have to say, they picked her up very, very carefully and put her on very carefully. And I didn't write sewing machine inside on the side of the case. But that's about the most unusual place I have taken my sewing machine. But I would like to tell you about one sound that we heard. When David and I were camping a few years ago, we did hear a very funny whirr sound, whirr, from the tent next to us. And we kind of, after a few years of camping next to the same people, I one morning said to Joe, "You haven't got a sewing machine in your tent, have you?" And Adam, her husband, came running out and said, "Have we got a sewing machine? She won't go anywhere without this flipping sewing machine." To which point David took one look at me and said, "Don't." And he pointed his finger, "Don't even think about it." So lovely discussion comment today, Jen. If you've got anywhere that you've taken your sewing machine that's unusual, just make a comment below and let's see what everybody else has taken their sewing machines. So what else have I sewn this week? I have started doing some bowl cozies. Now I'm going to come to these bowl cozies probably next week, but I think they're rather sweet, aren't they? Bowl cozies. I entered my name into the bowl cozy swap challenge. And then I got called into hospital. So I've had my bowl cozies from my lovely swap partner. And when I've got these finished and I've sent them off, then I will show you the ones that she sent me. Because I don't want her to see any more than that until I've popped them in the post. So it might be a couple of weeks till I know that she's got them. And I'm sending mine to British Columbia, which is quite a big thing. When you are sending bowl cozies to somebody in the USA or Canada where they make loads of bowl cozies, and we don't make bowl cozies. But I have to say, I'm just going to turn it inside out so she can't see the design on the outside. But these bowl cozies, the idea is that you can put a bowl in it. Bowl cozies, haha. But you can put like a bowl inside and you can put it for your soup, so you can sit on the sofa in front of the telly and have some soup. So I actually quite like the idea of these, so I might make some more. Maybe thinking forward, could they be something for a gift for November? Not that I'm putting any pressure on Adam Sews and So Like Dotty, just saying that we rather like that challenge, folks. If you want to do it again, I don't think anyone's going to say no. Thank you. But I certainly will be probably making bowl cozies. So what else has been happening? Now, I did mention a little while ago that I was making the Mabel. I have finished my Mabel. But my Mabel wasn't an easy make. No. So the first thing I'm just going to insert here now, I'm just going to slip it in, is when Andy came to see me from Sew Andy Sews, and we're talking Mabel. So this isn't going to be a straightforward make, but I think for now what I'm going to look at is looking at a Tilly size 3. Easily I can grade it out to ensure that I have got a comfortable waist. And I am actually going to cut the pattern because I don't want to. And then we decided might be a good idea to practice the shearing. So we had a go at doing shearing, and now Andy had never done shearing before. I've done shearing a long time ago, and I know it's a fairly straightforward thing to do, but we did it together because she'd never done it. And I'm actually just going to put in this little tiny bit of footage coming in a minute where Andy and I played shearing. Right, so that's the first bit done. So we've got it there. So now we have to do the next bit, which has to be equal from it. So let's just... really steady. That's really good actually. That's come out really well.
Happy with that?
I am very happy with that. So the Mabel. I finished the Mabel. This was the Mabel the first time round. That's all I'm going to say. I wasn't happy. I did not want a dress that was up underneath my bust that looked like an Empire line dress. I don't like Empire line dresses. I had bought the pattern for the Mabel at the Stitch Festival back in March, and I was super excited to buy it. And I looked at it, and this lady here was out wearing her Mabel, and it looked beautiful on her. And the shirring was on her waist. I turned it over. It shows the shirring on the waist. All the way through the pattern, it talks about the shirring being on the waist. It's not on the waist. No, no, no. I then decided, having made this Mabel, I got enough of this beautiful fabric left, and I was going to have another go. But I was going to lengthen the bodice, and I was also going to change the way that I made the Mabel. So this vlog, as you will have seen, is called Modifying the Mabel. Following through with Tilly's instructions to make the Mabel, I did everything in the same order except for the shirring. So I'm putting the Mabel together, but I have not gone anywhere near the shirring. I put the hem on the sleeve. I made the channel for the elastic for the sleeve. Now for this, I did actually fold it over and fold it over again, not taking any more allowance than Tilly gives in the pattern. And I put in the elastic and I sew the elastic down, the same for the back channel. I sew the elastic down at the same time. I put the elastic in, fold it over the hem so the elastic is encased in the channel before I sew it down. It's just a little bit easier, and you can then use the elastic as a little guide to get a really nice stitch. Now at this point I will advise you, if you've got a straight stitch plate for your machine, that is just your foot plate with just a one single dot in the middle. If you can put that on instead, that will help you ensure that your fabric doesn't get sucked in if you're staying close to the edge, because sometimes if you've got a wide foot plate your fabric can get sucked in. I'm going to show you how it is that I've put in the tie front attached to elastic into the front, not by feeding it through afterwards but by sewing it down as I go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the video that I recorded at the time. So here it is, and this is the front here that we're working on. We've done the line of stitching. So what we're doing is we are folding back this bit here to create an opening. You're folding it back as far as you can. You then put a little pin in it and do the tiniest wee line of stitching. Because you've got that little opening there now. Can you see my little opening here? Just fold that back over, and then you take your cord, which has now got elastic attached to one end, making certain the hem, where you folded over your binding and stitched it down, is down. Do not fasten any of the ends down. That allows you to adjust at the last possible minute. Let's pin this one in as well. Slide it on up. It's a heck of a lot easier than trying to squeeze it through, believe me. Over the years I've tried lots of different things, and getting a needle out or a pin out to feed through a ribbon is just the most tedious thing in the world. Sorry, that's just me. So there you go, and then you take that to the sewing machine and sew it down. Sew it up. You sew up the seam, and when you get to the point where you are wanting to have the bottom of the opening, you go 2 stitches below and then you go 2 stitches back. And then you lower the length of your stitch back to where it was, for me, which is 350, and then you sew the rest of the seam like so. There we go. Now that seam is opened and it's neatened by folding the seam allowances back on themselves. So I'm just going to insert a little bit of footage showing you how the tie works. All you had to do is to create that simple opening. Now, you could have done a buttonhole, but just folding the seam back was all you had to do, and all I did was to fold it back by 45 degrees from the corner, and that took it in, and I just sewed it down, made certain all the neat raw edges were covered, turned in, and everything was fine. So the side seams were neatened with a French seam, and then I got the dress together. The sleeves sewn round and the dress together. So let's start with the shirring on the sleeves. As you can see here, I did 3 rows of shirring on the sleeve. I didn't think it needed 5 rows of shirring. It's not that I had any problems with the shirring went through beautifully. The biggest problem I thought was it looked too bulky for the dress. This is a very delicate fabric. It didn't need any more than 3 rows of shirring. What we did was, I carefully did the first row of shirring along the line of the top to bottom seam. I fed the dress onto the free arm of the sewing machine and the sleeve, and it allows the garment to go round. So you can sew in a complete circle. And you can keep going over that circle and stop when you finally want to, but you keep going round and round and round. So what I did was I went round and I was able to go over the top of where I started as an extra bit of securing. So the first line I did was on the join in the middle. The second line that I did was above it, and the one after that was above again, and then I did 2 below the waist. It worked. It is much, much better. How anybody that is relatively new to sewing is meant to join a gathered bit of fabric with shirring to a solid bit that has not been sheared is beyond me. It just does not make sense. I'd made the Mabel, and then I thought, why is my waist not in the right place? Checked the block size, 5'5", 165 centimetres. That is me. So I've remade it. It looks lovely. Really lovely. But there's a problem with this dress. And that is this elastic. This elastic pulls the dress up, as you will see in this little bit of footage here. And what it does is it makes the dress ride up. Now if I stand up now and show you where this dress is, it's back underneath my bust. I put 5 centimetres on at the waist. If I am ever to make this dress again, I need to put 3 to 4 inches on at the waist. The problem is here. This is the problem. This elastic is pulling the dress up. Now, there's nothing wrong with having elasticated shoulders. In fact, they're great. If it's a sunny day, you can pull your bra straps down, you can put your bra strap inside, and you've got that lovely sort of off the shoulder look for a sunny day. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. Let me just tilt the camera forward so you can see. Absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. And then the dress will stay in the right place. It's way back down now. The dress is now sitting in the right place. The minute I put these back up over the top, it's pulling the dress back up. I don't normally get crossover patterns. I got crossover one many years ago, and again it was the instructions. Now the instructions for this pattern probably frustrate me the most. The shirring is done last. You do not shear a skirt and then try and put a sheared skirt to a solid bodice. Seriously, if it goes out slightly, it ain't going to work. Whereas if you do it in the round, it's going to go round absolutely beautifully. This dress is lovely. It's fine on me. It's fine for school. I will wear it for school. I'll wear it to Castle House. I will wear it. It is comfortable. I've had it on all day. And I'll tell you why I've had it on all day in a minute. And it is a really comfortable dress and it looks lovely. But I'm still not happy with the waist. And I wanted to do the dress the same way that everybody else would do it, so I could actually explain why it's not working. Shearing is lovely to do. It's very, very easy. In fact, what I will say is that the instructions on how to shear in this are excellent. Her how to do instructions, no problem. Well, I've got a beautiful dress that I will wear. Am I happy with the pattern? Am I happy with the dress? Yes, I suppose I'm happy with the dress. I can wear it. So I've had a visitor today. In fact, I've had 2 visitors today. The lovely Adam from Adam Sews came to see me on his way up to Newcastle because tomorrow he is going to Sewtoon. Unfortunately, having been off work for 2 weeks, I couldn't go to Sewtoon even if there was a space, but I should have gone last month, but unfortunately my body had other ideas. So Adam came to see me on his way up to Sewtoon, and Rachel came along and joined us for coffee this morning. So here we go. I had a lovely time making scones and cake for us. We didn't eat much at all, but we did a heck of a lot of talking. We were having coffee, but then we ended up on squash because it's so warm today. I just wish the thunderstorms would hurry up and come. So after Rachel left us to go over to Rouen so she could make her way up to Newcastle, Adam and I got talking about quilting and sewing machines, and it was very good. I've got Adam here playing with a sewing machine. I don't think he'll ever get to Sewtoon at this rate. It's just going to be hijacked and made to stay here. We've been talking sewing machines, not just baninas, just sewing machines in general. I hope you've enjoyed what I've got to show you today, and if you like what you've seen, give me a thumbs up. If you've not yet subscribed, just hit the thingy in the corner, and I'll see you all again very, very shortly. Take care. Bye-bye.